Welcome to the silver episode of SmartBites. In this 25th episode of SmartBites, we have compiled 11 lovely pearls of wisdom from prior episodes. Thank you for the patronage and hope you enjoy. These lovely nuggets are on key disruptors, skill reinvention, changing KPIs, clean code, design leverage, lazy coding, on big data, enabling accessibility, superorganism mindset, DevOps challenge, and the role of intellect.
Every single member of the Scrum team owns every single responsibility. So if I am a developer or if I am a test engineer, I own development, I own testing, I own deployment, I own support. That's the theme, extreme ownership. That's a disruptor.
I guess we got to be looking at reinvention as a skill, up-leveling it as a skill, and what comes with it is, the things like, ability to unlearn anything, ability to give up your expertise in wake of what is happening in the organization, not get hung on to the status quo for too long. I think so on and so forth. So I do strongly believe, even for QA professionals, it is absolutely essential that we should be forcing ourselves to reinvent, even though the career paths give us the comfort of being in today.
So the KPIs are aligned to the customer specific expectations. Then when we put it up and roll it out to their end customers, it's a program for them. So there, how the whole integration is really working and the end-to-end business flows are working, you get the actual end-user perspectives. Based on that, the KPIs are defined. So definitely it makes changes from program to project to the product.
So the best way to clean code or understand that as an opportunity to make sure that all these bugs and everything whatever is coming are the inputs for him to make the code better, and that is what at some point you will achieve nirvana, where you see that the code you have written is actually scaling well, performing well, it is able to adapt to new changes very well.
Earlier we had to engineer and build all these things ourselves actually and test them, right? Right now I can leverage a lot of these features like virtualization, scaling, for example. Capacity planning used to be a very big task for the customers, right? All the non-functional attributes are actually getting pretty much taken care. All it leaves is for me to verify that in addition to my functionality in a steady state, I can also ensure my functionality works as expected in stressed situations. It can scale automatically based on certain metrics and parameters. So we have come a lot way actually. I get a lot of pre-built components. We use a lot of open source, as well as we would also use a fair amount of public cloud capabilities. But my end deliverable to the customer is a sum of all these parts. So I need to verify that everything works.
Moore's law has actually resulted in is that there is no need for super elegant resource, minimizing resource efficient coding, because it is much better to come up with standard and reusable components and let there be some inefficiency in how it works, as long as it's cleaning up after itself, engenders lazy coding, right? So it means that people will just go ahead and use it, use whatever is available in whatever way they can, and go ahead and push it out into the world. Now the problem is that when it gets pushed out into the world, it actually hits the real world scenarios. That what happens in real life is different from what we are able to simulate in the test environment.
Big data is one bit more data than your system. The trick is in bringing all the data together and then getting it. It's not about the quantity. To me, honestly, it's not the quantity of data. It is the fact that you have data in different, like you said, right, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. How do you tie it all together, and then how do you get insights? So I would say, where even for testing, what you need to do is figure out how you can tie real-time data coming in from devices with what you are getting in from server logs, for example, as well as what developers might be putting as comments or something like that, and then use that to infer what could be the issue, and then build a test case.
So there are two parts here. One is consumer-focused applications, which definitely need to be accessible, and the other is internal software, which also needs to be easy to be used by people with disabilities. We have to bifurcate the world into legacy solutions and new age applications.
So superorganism mindset is a very interesting concept. A group of organisms comes together and they behave as if they were a large version, not a miniature version, but a larger version of the same organism. Sum of parts is greater than the parts itself, and that is the whole idea of superorganism. How some of these principles can be applied to how human beings come together, and they start behaving instantly. The moment there is an emergency, they all behave like a well-oiled machine there.
DevOps is very challenging from an end user point of view. Trying to take a solution to my end user and trying to believe that I am going to get some feedback and try to continuously build this system along with the end users, it's probably a mirage, right? You may have to look at different phases of a solution. Okay, I'll take a phase one, build it fully in an MVP model, completely working, which solves a particular problem of the user. It should be completely working, operationalized system along with whatever I spoke earlier. Then take it to the user. Then next phase you build up on it. DevOps, from a tool building, a solution builder to through a CIO organization to end user, not going to work.
Human intellect cannot be replaced at all. If you really see, we talk about negative testing, we talk about positive testing. What plethora of tools and processes and other things can give us is only the positive testing, not the negative testing. Because for doing the negative testing, there are no tools that are created, which can put you a pairwise kind of tool or anything. None of the case tools can give you the negative test scenarios. We are going to have more and more innovative testing that is happening. That may not be in an automated way, but that will continue to be in a manual way, because innovative testing happens only once in a while. It is not something which is mundane, which you will repeat.